Hormones, Final Madness.
Good day everybody, welcome to part 31 of Hormones Vinyl Madness. Today, or this evening rather, we're going to be talking about cleaning records, and I'm going to show you what I do to clean my records. I use a spin cleaner. I'm not linked to spin clean in any way, it's just what I use. I would like to upgrade in the future or to a vacuum based system, but for now I use my spin clean. It's inexpensive, it gives you some way of cleaning them, some way I think relatively safe. With your kit you get a cleaning fluid. You've got to use distilled water so there's no impurities in the water going onto your vinyl. I use a simple dish tray, plastic dish tray from IKEA to store them in once I've cleaned them. And normally, if they're used records that I've just bought, I'll also put a new inner sleeve in. I'll you know, there's no point cleaning your records and sticking them back in a dirty old inner sleeve. If the inner sleeves are in good nick and look okay, I'll leave them alone, you know. And these are of course my favourite type of inner sleeve, the retro paper inner sleeve with the poly liner inside. I like the look of them, they look retro, and it's all part of collecting records for me. And the plastic inner sleeve inside, the poly inner sleeve inside, helps protect the vinyl. So that's what I do. This is just what I do. It may not be the correct way, it works for me, so that's what I'm going to do. So you take your spin clean, take the lid off. I've cleaned mine on the inside, it's just a simple reservoir. There's a mark there where you fill your distilled water up to. So just pour that straight in there like that. You see the mark there. Comes with these rollers. You can put them in for your singles, 45s, 7-inch. You've got another slot here for your 10-inch, and then your albums. We're going to be doing 12-inch albums today, so they go in. That's what your vinyl sits on as you rotate it through the fluid. You also got these two brushes. I keep them as clean as possible. These brushes, they're a felt thing for anyone who hasn't seen a spin cleaner. They're a felt brush. They slide in like so. Very simple system. Give the fluid a shake. 3 capfuls of this size. You pour over the brushes. Pads, I suppose you could call them. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, let's put an extra one in for good measure, eh? More is always good, isn't it, you know? So that's the cleaning fluid. There's your distilled water, cheap product. And the first one, you get a couple of cloths with the spin clean I bought. They're like a calico type smooth cloth. I also have a hand towel on the ready if I need it, and a couple of these microfiber cleaning cloths. They probably get in the groove to a degree. It's just to dry them off really, you know. So just a microfiber, inexpensive microfiber cleaning cloth. First one I'm going to clean is my Peter Frampton Comes Alive album. It's a good album. It's second hand. I feel that the inner sleeves are pretty cruddy, so they're going to be going in the bin, so we'll just throw them down there. And look, this album isn't in too bad a condition. but there's some grit and stuff on there, so we're going to place it straight in between the two pads. Pay attention to where you've started on the inside of the label. You know, I've actually got this label upside down on this side, that is, and then you turn it 3 ways. I start off that way. There's 1, 2, 3, and then you go back the other way. 3 ways, 4 ways, whatever you like. 1, 2, 3. Oh, let's do an extra one, eh? I hate odd numbers. 4, and we'll go back 1 the other way just to even that up. 4. Oh, 5. Now I've done, that's another odd number now. I'll sod it. 6. Now, funnily enough, the fluid doesn't seem to go on the label. I don't think it would be a huge issue, you know. I see people patting them and carrying on and touch, you know, don't touch the label and all that. I've never had an issue with the labels. Of course you take care, but so then just pull it out, let some of the excess drip off. I use these calico, that's what I call them, calico type cloths to wipe off the excess water first, excess fluid and water, you know. And then I take a microfiber cloth to hold it with, and another one, and I put it against me now skinnier gut. It was quite handy having that. That's the only good thing the fat gut was good for, actually, putting it against the putting the record against the fat gut to cushion it as you dry them off. I'll give them a good old dry. I'm not touching the vinyl with my fingers at all. I mean, I don't think it's going to really make a great deal of difference if you do, but they say not to. You know, we have oils and stuff on our skin, don't we? And so I'll give them a good old dry, being careful not to bend the vinyl. You don't want to bend it because it won't play too good afterwards, but straight away I can see that's looking really good. And I haven't noticed any scratches on this album. I played it a few times uncleaned and it wasn't too bad. It played quite good, and I know this is going to sound great. Now, I'm not doing a before and after play test. Just trust me that it did sound fairly good. There was a few crackles and pops, but I know that's going to sound much better. It just looks better. That's come up nice, and it's quite dry actually. I wouldn't play it. I'll leave them to dry. I do a bunch, you know, leave them to dry in the rack, air dry, but that is pretty dry, and that looks great. And then I just place it in there carefully in the plastic rack, being careful, you don't want to scratch. And then we'll take part 2. It's a double album, Frampton Comes Alive. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that. Again, these bags aren't actually, I didn't get this from Rhubarb, this is from a different shop, but you know, they're not the newest looking bags. They're okay, but you know, why, quite a dirty, dusty album, why clean it and put it back in a dirty bag? They're inexpensive to buy. I get mine on eBay. I can't remember what I paid, but it's, I don't know, cents a bag, you know, what's the name? And why not put your treasured vinyl in a sleeve? So we'll whack that in. I've got the label up the right way this time. Double thumbs up to me. I've got my new camera. I'm using my Canon 80D to film this, and I've Wi-Fi'd it to my iPhone, using it as a monitor, just to check out how beautiful I look on screen. No, actually, I'm keeping an eye on the focus. The last video turned out quite well. That was the first video, episode 30, that I used this camera on. I was very pleased with the results. I brought in the big guns this time. I normally just use 2 lights with umbrella filters on them, white filters. I use the CFL type lights, globes, and I've got them on the side. I've got a soft box without the soft covering just to my right hand side of the camera, and I've also got one as a top light over the top, and I've got my mic over here on a stand, so I'm hoping that's picking me up loud and clear. I tested it and it's good. And the great thing about this camera, besides being able to plug in an external mic, which I could with this camera too, this is my older one, this is a EOS KISS X5, which I'm using for the close-up shots. I'm trying a bit of B-roll here. I've focused it so it should be pretty cool with no movement there as such. So yeah, I've got the extra 2 lights. I've lost track of what I was saying now, so it doesn't matter, that must have been crap. Anyway, here we go. We're going to go 4 this time each way. Oh, we'll go 6, eh? Let's go 6. That's 1. Pete's looking cleaner already, I can see that. That's 2. Now, I haven't got the new Ringo Starr album out yet. I've heard it's very good, and I've heard a couple of songs off it which I was most impressed with, so that's 2. I am excited about getting that, and I will be getting that on vinyl and probably CD as well for the car, you know. That's 3, 4. We're going to go with 6. We're doing 2 extra. More is better, isn't it? You know, it's always better. That's 5. Oh, I nearly lost count then. It's like when you've got a guitar amp that goes up to 10. If you can get it to 11, it's just more, and it's extra. That's 6. All right, we're going back the other way. Same amount of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I hope this mic's working. 6, and there it is. So it's easy, isn't it? I mean, you can do this. I usually play records while I'm doing it. I usually sit down where I do my normal little set where I do my Vinyl Madness videos and sit there. But I wanted to stand up for this, and I got a nice new top quality tablecloth. Cost me $1.50 from the Reject shop. That's a low budget sort of dollar type shop here in Australia. But you get some good stuff in there, you know, made in China, everything, I'm pretty sure. And I just wanted to dress it up a bit, you know. And these are my curtains to my fold out doors to my little backyard where it's about 1 metre from the house. So we've got everything big going on here. So again, just pull it out, let some of the excess drip into the spin clean tray. And also with this, it is handy. You can leave that water in there, put the lid back on. I take the little pads out, the little brushes out. They're pads actually, aren't they? They've got a foam. They're velvet, foam wrapped in velvet, I'd say. So I take them out, rinse them under the tap, you know, give them a good old wring out and let them dry on the windowsill. Give their little rollers a rinse. They're plastic, they're fine. But I find it works really well, you know. I know the vacuum setups would be much far superior, I would imagine anyway. So then I get my microfiber cloths. It just enables you to get hold of the record with that and not worry about touching her. Now give it a good old shine up. You can hold it quite firm. Get in those grooves. Get into the groove, you know what I'm saying? And like the labels, funnily enough, I rarely get anything on them. It just seems to run around the label. There's a bit of a lip there, so it must just guide the fluid and water. It's predominantly water. You know, I don't know what Spin Clean put in their mix. I use the Spin Clean mix, and now I just make up my own. You know, I just use distilled water, a bit of dishwashing, you know, that blue stuff you put in the dishwasher. I'm not going to mention any brands. I use a couple of drops of that. I believe it just breaks the surface tension and enables the water, the distilled water, to penetrate the vinyl, the grooves and what have you. And I use a bit of rubbing alcohol, and I just put about a third rubbing alcohol in. The rest is distilled water and a couple of drops of that conditioner that you put in your dishwasher. I call my dishwasher the dish pig, and that's what I put in, and I just mix that up. There was no problem whatsoever with the proper Spin Clean fluid that you get, but it ran out. I used it all, and I just thought, I'll make up my own. You know, I believe the alcohol's only in it. The alcohol, it's only in it, I believe, to help the record dry quicker. It's just basically, you know, you've got that little bit of soapy stuff to break the any oils up and stuff, so that the water can penetrate. You're mainly using water, distilled water, and of course you fill the trough up with distilled water as well. So, you know, there's very little impurities. Well, alcohol's not impure, is it? So, and it comes up nice and clean. And these are in very good condition. There's no scratches or scuffs on these. And this is an original release, I'm pretty sure, from, what was it, 77, 76, 77? Or was it 78? I think it was 78. Frampton Comes Alive, and it's in great nick. So yeah, comes up great. We'll do another one, eh? I know you're enthralled and excited by my speech and what have you. So that's Pete, he's come up clean. The next one I'm going to do is 1910 Fruit Gum Company and Ohio Express. Now, I'm not sure if this inner sleeve's going to need changing. I've got quite a few. That looks in good nick. That one. And this album's pretty clean. I don't know if I got this one from Roundabout. It's on the old Astor label. I don't know if you guys around the world had Astor, but a lot of my early Kinks albums that were pressed here in Australia are on Astor, and I've got a few old scuffed up 45s that I'm going to run through and have a clean. I might do some of them very soon for the purpose of this video. So we'll bung that in. I've got it lined up to the top. Just enables you to know where you are, and let's go. This album feels a bit thicker than the other two Frampton ones. One. That's two. It's a pretty easy process. I know a lot of you have probably got this and used it. Three. Incidentally, Spin Clean recommend 4. Recommend only doing it 3 times. 5, but I always feel 6. Double is better, isn't it? It is if you've got double in petrol, that's better, isn't it? 1, or money. Double in money is better than half of the money, isn't it? 2, 3. You have to call it out because you forget. And this is like, we're playing for sheep stations here. This is serious stuff. 4, 5, one more, 6. Pull that out. Again, drip off the excess. I mean, if you set yourself up like this, to be honest, would be a good way of doing it. Put some records on, play some music, go through some of your ones. I usually always clean my used ones, and apparently you should be cleaning your new ones too. They're coated in something, or apparently, I don't know. But they've always seemed alright. I will go through them though. Eventually, you know, I quite enjoy doing it, you know. This is thicker. a thicker record. I wouldn't say it's 180 gram by any means, but maybe 140 or 60. So yeah, again, I use the calico rags that come with the spin clean. They do different sets, you know, where they throw in more rags and a bigger bottle of the fluid, or a big bottle and a small bottle, and extra bits and pieces. I just got whatever the local store had. I didn't buy it on eBay or anything. I do try and use local stores because they, you know, they've got a lot. I know that we all want to save money, but they've got a lot of rent to pay, and people have got to work somewhere, you know. So I do try and share the love a bit, and I buy a bit online, and a bit from shops. I mean, if we don't use the shops, we're going to lose them, and I like going out and having a look around shops, you know, for records and bits and pieces. So if we don't use them, we lose them. But certain things that are really expensive, I'm afraid I just buy online now. Like this camera, $700 less online. Well, not quite, it was about $630 or something, so I tell a fib there, about $630 cheaper online. I did give the store the option to match the price. I said they don't match eBay prices, and I said, okay, well, eBay it is then, sorry. I did at least give them the opportunity, and I emailed the shop, you know, and I said, look, if you'll match the price, I'll be up the following Friday, which was a couple of days later, and I'll be up and I'll pay cash for the camera. And I probably would have bought a couple of lens filters or something as well, you know, but no, they weren't interested. They must be doing really well and don't need my business. So eBay got it, I'm afraid. I'm not advertising eBay, it's just where I went to. We're getting Amazon in Australia, apparently. They're building all their distribution centres as we speak, and we're getting Amazon here, so that's very exciting. Now there's something on this, I don't know whether it's a little bit of paint. It's not actually even on the lead-in, I don't know if you can see that. Bit of white stuff here. I'm not particularly bothered about it. It's not on the lead-in, it's on the outer lip, and that's not in bad nick either. There's a bit of a light scratch there, not deep. I don't recall that. I have played this record and I don't recall that coming through. That's come up lovely. So I've always got hold of it with the cloths. It's easy to do, and once you've done it a few times, you become a pro at it, you know. And stick them in there carefully. They sit there in me little IKEA. Can you see that? I can't. Yes, you can. You can. Sit there in the little IKEA thing. Distilled water. Now you can clean a good batch of records this way. This record, yeah, these are from Roundabout. This is the Beach Boys one I showed a few episodes back, where it had just where the glues come away. If you can see that. Oh yeah, you can see that. See where the glues come away. So anyway, let's stick, this is a Pickwick release. Pickwick. So let's stick that in there. This is more like the Frampton thickness vinyl. We'll stick that in there. What I use, again, I'm not trying to advertise anything here, it's just what I use. I can't even see a brand on it. It's just a cheap glue stick. You see that? A cheap glue stick. Put that up there, you might be able to see it. I'll take that off. Oh, it's empty. I think have my dogs been into that? I reckon they have. That's alright, I've got more. I'll come back to that through the magic of television. Get another one. And I'm back. The magic of Teletubivision. Okay, so we've got our little glue stick. I think my dogs might have eaten that one. That little Mildred. Nice Mildred vinyl. She's eaten that one, I reckon. Anyway, I just carefully pry it open. There we are. And you won't be able to see this, but I'll just run some glue along there. Put a little strip on each side. And this isn't ultra sticky type stuff, so you won't have too much. Squeeze that together. And that should be okay. Stick that over there, out the way. Now, that being a rhubarb record, he does clean his used albums, of course, and he puts new inner sleeves in, so I'm not going to need one with that. But here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'll just go with 4 with these because they're pretty clean. 4. And back the other way. 1, 2. I can smell the rubbing alcohol in there. 3, 4. Oh, it was super speedy with that. Super speedy. Just let the excess again drip into the reservoir. And like I said before, you can if you wish, you can store that water in there if you're going to do one the following week. You know, it's quite okay to leave that water in there, and you know, take your brushes out rinse them out and let them dry. This is a lot thinner actually than the Kinks one, than the fruit gum one rather. So you're getting a lot of the water off with this. Excuse me. And then you get your microfiber cloths. And this really gets the excess off and gives them a polish up. Come up really good. There's a little scuff there, but I don't recall hearing that on the playback, so it's funny, and you get scuffs on albums, and think, oh, how will that be? And then when you play it, it's fine, you know. So that must just be the little scuffed along the top of the vinyl and not embedded into the groove, which is handy. Because this one sounds fine. It's the Beach Boys, isn't it? Yeah. Give it a polish up. They come up really nice. Like new, really. Like I say, this is just the way I do it. There's maybe people out there going, oh no, what's he doing, you know, but it works for me, you know. It's come up pretty good. And then I stick it in the tray. I think around 20 minutes is long enough, you know, to let them dry off. Just leave that there, like that. There. Now this Booker T one, where did I get that from? Booker T and the MG's Greatest Hits. Now that looks dodgy, that sleeve. I think I will get a new one for this one. This is on the Stax label, T and the MGs. So it's the only original Stax label I've got. Stick her in. 1, 2, 3, one more because more is better, 4, back the other way, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull that out, let it run off a bit. A little bit went over the label then, but doesn't seem to hurt them. I don't know. I will do a couple of 45s. I'll dig a couple out. And all you know, you're just trying to get the dust and grit out the groove, and that's why I want the vacuum system, because that really sucks all the crap out the grooves, and the water too. They're pretty much ready to play, I think, after you've used them. I'm not sure what way I'll go yet. Probably an Okie dokie or Okie Noki cleaner machine. They're quite pricey though, but I'd like one of them. I haven't seen any scratches on this record, and I have played it. It's sound fine, you know. Well, there is a little scratch there, light scratchy scuff, I think, more than anything. Oh, it's handy having a monitor, my phone, down to my left. Got on a little tripod. I bought that tripod in Bali, what I used over there, and they're quite handy, the little tripods. Yeah, there's a scratch there. That's come up okay. And you know, if you're not too happy with the result, put it through again, you know. That's pretty good. So I'm going to go and dig out a couple of 45s and give them a go. I'll be back in a second. Right, so with the 45s, you pull your little rollers out like such, move them to the closest groove to the centre, and that's your 45 thing. Right, so I've dug out 4 here to do. First one is on Columbia. Dave Clark 5. Please tell me way and look before you leave. That's the single, isn't it? Look before you leave, I think. Anyway, we'll stick that in there, and it's the same process. Yeah, I've got that. Looks like it needs more water in it today. Maybe not. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's really hassle-free, and you can see the dirt and grit in the actual reservoir there, so it certainly gets some out, you know. It's not bad. I haven't done a lot of 45s. I did a few when I was 40. Very much like the Parlophone label, really. It's just no yellow in it. Columbia. That's an EMI label, I think. This is a bit scratched up and that, but you know, you can pick these 45s up for next to nothing. And I bought a load of the white paper sleeves for 45s and some outer poly sleeves too. Just keeps them neater, and you know, and they're inexpensive. I think this next one I got from what you call charity shops in the US. We call them op shops here in Australia. Opportunity shops, I think it stands for. Op shops, the oppie, going down the oppie, you know. It's got scratches and scuffs on it, but it is better. You see that? Not quite clean, so I just put them over, start from the other side there, leave that there. This one, pretty sure Miss Squeak got me this from a oppie, from the op shop, charity shop. It's on the Motown label, Tamla Motown, the Jackson 5, the Young Folks, and ABC. Yeah, Tamla Motown label. That's not in bad nick, that, actually. No scratches and that on that I can see. So my oppie shot one's in better nick than the other one. 1, 2, 3. Trying to go too fast then, and it just lifted out a bit. 4. Back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're not got millions of dollars to spare and you need a little cleaner, I would recommend this. I mean, nothing in it for me to say that. I might get a link on this video, but as of yet I haven't got a link. But if I do, then let's just say there's a possibility of an affiliate link going on this video. I haven't looked into it, but it may appear, so just check the description and see if there's one in there. If there is, there is. If there isn't, there isn't. But at this stage of making this video, no one's paying me to say that. I just bought it and I just showing you what I do, you know. That's all, and I've been quite happy with the results for what you're paying. Does a pretty good job, pretty reasonable job. Some people just use cloths and wash them in the sink, don't they, and use dishwashing liquid and stuff, and it's probably fine, you know, but this is a bit easier to me. And I've never tried the glue thing. Have you seen videos on YouTube where people put the wood glue on or whatever it is and peel it off, and they do sound pretty good, but how many have they stuffed up that they're not showing you, you know? I don't know, maybe none, I don't know. Some of them do it really well. That's come up pretty good, that one. The other one did too, it's just this is in a better condition. So, sit in that one. That's an original release. Jackson 5. Oops, I'll put that back in there yet. Just leave it there to dry. That's the sleeve Motown. EMI Hayes, made in Great Britain. That's an English release. Ah. Next one I'm going to clean is Rock and Rod Stewart. Like me a bit of Rod. You know, it's good. Seen him a few times live. Ain't Love a Bitch and Scarred and Scared. And he's on Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers. Right, let's stick that in there. Bit of a runny nose tonight. 1, 2. I hope I'm not boring you too much. 2, 3, 4. Now, did I do an extra one? I can't remember. I'm going with 4 because I like even. I like it even, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I did an extra one there too, you know. It doesn't matter, does it? This seems to be an okay nick too. So yeah, like I said, I just use these calico cloths to actually get the heavy moisture off. Heavy moisture, heavy water. Heavy water, that's what they use for making bombs, isn't it? Heavy water. Nuclear fusion or something, I don't know. Bit out of my pay scale, that. Nice polish up. Yeah, it's in good nick, that one, as well. Jeez, they feel so small compared to the albums. They are, aren't they? That's come up pretty clean. Beautiful. Stick him in there. And the last 45 I'm going to do is from an Aussie band, Skyhawks, Let It Rock. Recorded live at the Reefer Cabaret, Melbourne, December 1975. Catch that one there. Interesting. Let It Rock, Revolution, Saturday Night. Some Mushroom Records. Haven't listened to this one yet. I might give that a spin soon. Like a bit of Skyhawks. Oh, it's in a bag like that. Look at that. Did I buy that? Oh, I don't know. That's a Mushroom label for those who've never seen that. I think that's an Australian label. I think Sony own it now. It was started by a guy, I believe, called Michael Podensky, who runs a touring company now. I think he sold Mushroom off. But anyway, 1, 2, so this is an EP. This was a big band in the 70s. 3, you're here in Australia, the Skyhawks. And 4, lead singer Shirley Strawn, a few years ago now, well after they split up. 1, died in a helicopter accident. 2, I think he was getting his license and he crashed, and unfortunately. 3, 4, and they were big in the 70s like Sherbet, you know. It was like the Rolling Stones and the Beatles in the 60s thing. It was like here in Australia it was like Sherbet and Skyhawks. Who do you like? Most people liked both, you know. Skyhawks, you couldn't really compare the bands, really. They were, the only thing you can compare them with is that they were both popular, you know. Their music is totally different. So that's how I clean my records. I leave them in the tray there to dry for a bit. The time I finish doing this, they're pretty dry. But it doesn't hurt to leave them to air dry, you know. So if you've got any comments or anything, just leave them in the comments section down below. If you want to put in how you clean your records, I'd love to hear that. And please remember to subscribe to the Oompah Roundabout channel, where you can see all the Hormones Vinyl Madness videos. As I said, this is episode 31, and all the Oompah Roundabout film clips, music film clips to our songs, and anything else, my silly humour ones, and anything else I come up with in the future. I'm hoping to put more of concert footage up. Paul McCartney concert coming up soon in December, so hope to get a little bit from that, just some snippets, you know, of the night. And we're looking this summer at going to see a few Perth original bands too, and getting some footage up of them, hopefully. Something I've got planned to do. That's come up good. Pretty good. It does a pretty fine job, really, you know. They always sound better. You know, it's an album you've played and then cleaned with the spin clean. It does a pretty good job for a cheap price. So that's what I use. If you're not cashed up, what I'm trying to say, young girl or guy, and you want a way to clean your records, check out on eBay or Amazon. I'd say they'd sell it, or your local record store, record shop as we call them here in Australia, for a spin clean. I'd recommend it, and as I say, as far as I know, there's nothing in it for me yet, but that may change. So if it does, just check out the description box below and see if there's a link, an affiliate link in there. There may be, there may not be, or there may be in the future, or may not be. We'll see. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. This is Hormone House saying thank you very much to all the subscribers, all the new subscribers and all the old subscribers. Thanks so much for sticking with the channel and trying to step up the production values a bit with being in focus and improving the sound, looking at things all the time. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep an eye out for any new songs that come out. All our songs are downloadable at iTunes, Google Play, Amazon MP3 and all other fine downloading MP3 sites. I think you get a couple of files. I think you get the MP3 file, the FLAC file and the WAV file, I think, for the price. So of course FLAC and WAV are a higher quality than MP3. It's a compressed file. I don't know if you can tell the difference. Sometimes I think I can and other times I can't. I hear a lot of shh and ee in my ears. I have tinnitus, I think it's called. Tinnitus. So I have that through years of cymbals and drums crashing in my ears and having music too loud. I've turned down these days. But anyway, damage is done. I'm just trying not to take it any further. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you're all doing well. I am going to catch up with everyone's channels and comment and like on your channels as I go. Please forgive me that I haven't been doing it yet. I've just been very busy, not making excuses, just a fact. I do enjoy all your channels and I will be checking you out, Boston Rob and Matthew Street, and of course me, Mr. Mayo, and Paul, Fit to be Tie-Dyed, and many others. Love all your channels, love checking out what you've been up to and what you've been buying. So this is, anyway, Hormone House saying sayonara, see you later, stay safe, stay cool, keep spinning those vinyls, I said it, didn't I? Keep spinning your vinyl. I'm going to spin that Skyhawks one very soon. Take care. Thank you for watching. Ciao.